Hi everybody. I've had a lot of questions about how my light show is actually done and what makes it tick, so I decided to go ahead and do a behind the scenes tour to kind of give everybody an idea of what makes this work and how it operates and how it all is actually put together. Okay, some of the different effects I have on the show. There's my 13 key piano. There's my candy cane. Here's my snowman. There's the control box that makes everything happen. I'll show you that in a sec. There's my tree. I just added this. This is my green grass. These I don't actually use. These are incandescents, and they run a bit too much power. I just mostly have it out here for daytime decorations and to keep people off the grass. The strobe lights up there, my LED icicles, as well as the trim edge, and then I also have my singing Santa character. And another control box sitting up there to control that. And then this is the FM sign to let everybody know where to tune their radio stations to be able to get the audio feeds into their vehicles. This here is the Lightorama controller. This is actually the heart of my light shows for most of the light effects. And so go ahead and open this guy up. And basically you see 16 different channels. They operate off of what's called a triac. It's a big transistor, 16 of them, that I can use for Christmas lights on AC power. This right here is my data cables that go from my computer and in between the controllers. And then from here is when I have the kind of little rat nest here of all the cables. So there's the snowman, here's the candy cane, and then I have all the numbers. And then I have a spider web going out to each individual section for the piano. 13 key keyboard that I have lights running across, and I have the rope light running on here. And basically what this allows me to do is I can go ahead and do all kinds of different effects, sweeps. I can also turn all of them on individually. Here's my back and forth, part of my Moves Like Jagger. Coming on, I can turn all 13 of them on simultaneously. And then I can also do what my originally intended was playing Chariots of Fire on this 13 key giant keyboard across my grass. Okay, one of the other effects I'd like to show you and how I do it is these are my floodlights. These are LED RGB floodlights. I put these together myself using halogen lamp cases. They have red, green, and blue LEDs inside them. If I turn them all on, it produces a white, just the blues. I get a nice blue, and it basically washes the entire wall or whatever I have here with whatever color I want. I have Ethernet cables I'm using for power. I'm using little phone cords for the actual data line. Goes back to the computer so I can control individually which one and which color and how bright and timing and everything. All comes off of a little 12-volt power pack right here. There's my antenna right there for the FM radio. This is my data line that goes from my computer control box out to the controller, and then from there it goes up to the controller where the singing Santa hat is. This is my singing Santa character. He's got his hat up there. This is actually pretty simple. I have chain link fence tension wire that I used to build a frame, and then I mounted warm LED rope light to it. I got it at Walmart 15-foot sections. You can actually cut it down into 5-foot sections, and then you see I have that black right there. That's the rope light that I don't want illuminated, so I go ahead and wrapped it with black electrical tape, zip tied the whole thing together, and then mounted it up there. And all goes back to the one little control right there. This is actually 9 channels of my 16-channel controller to control this face and all the facial gestures that he makes during my show. This is my current draw for all of the lights out in the front yard. It's kind of dancing a little bit because my piano is still kind of dancing as one of the demonstrations of what my show is doing. This peaks at around 230 watts if I have everything on. Most of the time I don't have everything on, so it runs actually a lot lower than that. This is my lights. This does not include the computer that drives it or the power supply that operates the RGB floodlights. And then right outside here is back to the street. This is where I have my bench. I watch as people come down the street. I get a candy cane ready for them and hand out candy canes, thanking everybody for stopping by. The cool part about sitting outside is I can also control my entire display right from my pad. And so I can, if somebody comes by and I tell them about a different song that I have, it's not my main show, I can actually start a different sequence and actually play a special showing for somebody as well. monitor all kinds of other things with this. But mostly just sit out here and just give out candy canes and thank everybody for stopping by. I'll go ahead and take you inside and show you how it works actually on the computer side of it. This is my computer setup that operates the entire light show, running Windows 7, and there's a bunch of candy canes right there, the newspaper for the local light show contest. And the actual computer that actually operates everything is just a small little Mac Mini. It's Intel based. It's an old 2007 box. Up on top of that is a small controller that's actually for the floodlights, and there's another little adapter right back there that's for the actual light box controllers that's in the back. And then I just run a couple wires outside and then through the window. Back here is my small radio transmitter. This is a Ramsey radio transmitter, and I just flip the little switches for what frequency I want it to transmit on, and it transmits the audio that I pipe into it from the computer, and then that's how you get the audio into your vehicle. From here I can see what show is playing at what time, or sorry, what song is playing at what time, and this is actually where I do all of my creation of my actual sequences. Now, I know some of you are going to ask, how much does it actually cost to run the light show? So if I'm taking, say, last month's bill, I've been running the light show for about 3 weeks. Let's see, my current bill, divide that out. I know this is not the real correct way to do it because of the tiering system, but it comes out to, like, say, 14 cents per kilowatt hour. So far, I've actually ran it for 9.21 kilowatt hours, so times 9.222, just to average it up, comes out to $1.34 so far. So with that in mind, I ran the outside lights for 3 weeks, and it's only cost me a couple bucks to actually run the entire light show. The meat and potatoes of the entire light show is the sequence editor. And so, for example, this right here, these grids are the actual timing marks for the actual song. And then this right here is my candy cane, for example. And then so here's my tree for the actual beat of the music. So I can get everything down for the timing. I could build all these timing marks and then figure out how I'm going to be turning on which lights when, at what times. Everything that you see on the light show, every time you see a light turn on or off, it's me back here actually building the actual sequence to see what it's actually going to do and when. And it's not really all that complicated, to be honest, because I can go ahead and say I want to start a new show. I want to do a new musical sequence. I'm just going to say Roadkill Christmas. I'm going to use the Beat Wizard. And what this allows me to do is it allows me to get a very, very gross estimate of where all the timing marks are, and it will estimate where everything is. And so it builds all the timing marks for me on the actual light show. And then once I do that, then I can just go ahead and come in here and actually say I want to go ahead and turn this one. I want to fade this one up, fade this one down, I'll turn this one on. If I have some other colorings, I can also say, come down here and I want to make this one from here, I want to make blue to red. And so I can change the color schemes on the actual floodlights outside as well. And then in order to see how this is going to work, because I've actually worked on this for a good chunk of the year, here's actually what's called a visualizer. Let me go ahead and play this for you. And then this is called a visualizer, so I take a picture of the house, I overlay where all the lights are going to be, and then I can test this throughout the year without putting up a single light, and I can actually build my entire light show sequences for you guys to enjoy. Thanks for watching this video on the behind-the-scenes tour on how my light show actually works. Just in case you're wondering on why I actually do this, I actually enjoy the synchronizing of visual effects to music, and really kind of fell in love with it when I saw Chariots of Fire on a light show, laser show actually, in 6th grade, and I just fell in love with it. I go to places like Disneyland and see their World of Color show, and I learn a lot of things about the use of different colorings, the timing marks, and how you never show everything all at once. So I really hope I can capture the imagination of some people and inspire some people to do some wonderful things. And Merry Christmas from the Chaika family, and thanks for watching our video.